question and answer period. Each candidate will have the chance to answer 2 questions chosen from a pool submitted by the voting delegates. You will select 2 questions randomly, and I will read you the question. Answers will be limited to 1 minute. First to draw is Jillian St. Ange for the candidate of Vice President of Competition. The question is, what qualities do you possess that make you most qualified to run for state office?
Well, I hold Vice President of Promotion at my school. Also, one thing I want to do as a leader is become more community-oriented as a statewide organization. I created an organization through my church, which I started as a show originally with 10 of my friends, that originally was meant to just benefit one family, but over 3 years now has raised over $75,000 for 3 different families. I'm a track athlete, so I know what it's like to push those around me and to push myself.
The question is, what would you do to help the New York DECA members excel in competitions?
Well, if nominated specifically for Vice President of Competition, I want to create a plan which I can relay to all of the chapter presidents with information regarding all of the specific competitions, giving everybody a greater chance to succeed and go to ICDC.
The next candidate is for the office of Vice President of Communications or Finance. First to draw is John Rothbard. The question is, how do you plan on getting New York DECA members more active on social media?
I actually addressed this in my interview. On social media right now, I feel like it's more of an inclusive experience. Members of DECA are following DECA on Instagram. Members of DECA are following DECA on Twitter. Stuff like that. I think we need to have freebies for people who have decided to share DECA with new members. And I think that we need to create a DECA app to act as another social media, kind of like JSA. If any of you are in that club, there's something called the JS app, which is an inclusive social media experience where you can connect with your other chapter members, with your other Northeast state members.
The question is, how do you plan on getting more DECA chapters to donate to the state charity?
I think we definitely need to get the word out more on Twitter, on Instagram, on social media, and especially to the chapter advisors. I think everybody really needs to know about the benefits of donating, about the fact that you donate. I know it wasn't brought up that much in my own chapter, so I wasn't reminded that much to do it. I think we need to prompt the chapter advisors, prompt the chapter presidents to keep donating to these organizations that we support.
The next candidate for Vice President of Communications and Finance is Tristan Rice. The question is, how would you explain what DECA is to schools that don't have a chapter in order to get them to join?
That's a great question, and it's actually a question that I've told to several people in my school who've been interested in DECA. I tell them that DECA is marketed as a business club, but in reality it's so much more. It's a club that will teach you skills that you'll use regardless of what field you go into, which is why it's important that each student who can should be able to join DECA, and each school who can should be able to have DECA.
The question is, how do you plan on getting more DECA chapters to donate to the state charity?
One way is my personal region has a penny war each year to see which chapter can raise the most money for their local charity, and we raise huge amounts of money because teenagers tend to be very competitive with one another, and especially when school pride is involved. So as an executive officer, I'd inform the other regions about that and try to encourage them to create similar competitive events where each school can compete to see who can raise the most money.
For President and Executive Vice President, Nicole Nissan. The question is, what is one experience you have had in DECA that has shaped you into who you are today?
The one experience that's really shaped my overall DECA experience was running for state office last year and having the opportunity to serve as your state parliamentarian. I've had an unbelievable journey representing you guys at the state, regional, and international level and voicing your opinions. Being able to hear you out, being able to give you guys the opportunity on how you guys want this organization run has been the opportunity of a lifetime. This year, I wouldn't be back here today on the stage running for your state president if I didn't enjoy serving you. So I'm here today to tell you to choose Nissan.
The question is, what changes do you feel need to be made to the New York State Career Conference?
One thing that I do believe needs to be added to our New York DECA State Career Conference should be more competitions. How many of you would like to see a real estate and development conference that has real estate and development, that has a do-it-yourself competition? Gather all these cool materials that you have no idea what's there for, to create something unbelievable, because that's what we're all about. We're here to develop, create, and innovate, because we're New York DECA, and we're here to succeed. So success starts with New York DECA, and that's what we're going to do. Good night.
Next, for President and Executive Vice President, Robert Epstein. The question reads, what is one characteristic you would use to describe yourself, and how will that assist in the future of New York DECA?
I'm a determined leader. I started with no DECA chapter at my school. I went to my social studies teacher, founded it. In 1 year, at our first regional competition, I mentored every single student personally, so that we got 90% of our regional competitors to move on to the state competition. I have never stopped working for my DECA chapter, and now I don't want to ever stop working for you as your next DECA president. I want to keep going and keep pushing. I want to make a website. I've built websites in the past. I will do whatever it takes to get the website done as soon as possible. And I guarantee you, within 1 month of being in office, 1 month, there will be a new DECA website. I am going to put a question and answer service on the website. I want to instill a policy of transparency. I want to listen to you, the members. I would not be where I am today if I had not listened to my board. So why should we not listen to you? You are DECA. I am not DECA. The members are DECA. I want to listen to you, and I want to make a better DECA, and I want to make New York DECA the best it possibly can be.
The question reads, what new innovative ideas do you plan on bringing to New York DECA?
For those of you that have spoken to me at my campaign booth, you know my entire campaign is about bringing innovation and technology to New York DECA. First of all, I'm going to implement new social media accounts for New York DECA. I've already proven my innovation with my Snapchat geofilter. You've seen it. I'm just showing you what's one thing that I'm going to be able to do next year as your DECA president. I'm going to create a website. I'm going to have a question and answer service. And what I'm going to do is create something called a chapter partnership program. If you are in, a great DECA chapter, if you're in a DECA chapter where you're succeeding year after year, you're going to reach out to a DECA chapter where the membership might not be as great as yours. You guys are going to talk, you're going to get together, and both of you will rise and do better. I believe that New York DECA is a team. Our job is to help each other rise. We want to do the best we can do. And as a team, our job is to go to ICDC and do the best that New York DECA can do. We're not going to cut each other down. We're all going to rise up. That is me, my policies, Reps for Prez, Robert Epstein for a new New York DECA.
Thank you, Sean and Rhea. I would like to remind you of the importance of the decisions you make concerning the candidates. This is a decision that will affect you and your fellow DECA members for the upcoming year. I urge you to discuss the qualities of these candidates with your chapters and voting delegates. The voting booths will be open this evening from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. It is important that all of your chapters' voting delegates cast their vote tonight. Please remember to bring your voting cards or you will not be able to vote. The Executive Council wishes all the candidates the best of luck and thanks to the members for attending. I now recess this Meet the Candidates session of the 56th Annual New York DECA State Career Conference.